Is it just me, or does San Diego still just sound like the normal thing to say? But nonetheless, we're going to take a look at this team's opening schedule, starting off with the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil. This is the most unideal start to a season you can have, is traveling all the way to Brazil. I mean, let's do some Google research. How many miles is Los Angeles to Brazil? I mean, this is going to be nuts. So that is 6,155 miles according to AI. How many miles is Kansas City to Brazil? 4,594. So all of a sudden the Chiefs have a massive advantage because they have less traveling. And then week 2, now the Chargers do get 10 days rest, which is great. They're going to be at the Raiders, which basically is a home game. I mean, it's the Raiders, so like it is what it is. I think the Chargers are going to comfortably win that game. In terms of the Chiefs one, I'd love to say that the Chargers are going to send a statement to the world and beat the Chiefs and finally get it done. I don't think they will. Like, I want them to. I'm rooting for them. But the Chargers just, they've got to prove it, man. It's not one of those things where I can say that they get it done. They have to do it, man. You want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. I get the Eagles won the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs continue to dominate the AFC, and the Chargers need to prove it. Week 3 is going to be at home against the Denver Broncos. Definitely feels like a must-win game. The Chargers swept the Broncos last year. They need to do that again. Just let the Broncos know, like, hey, look, man, you're not anywhere where we are. You're not coming up next. Like, you had a great year. But nah, man, we're still the team that is going to be the biggest threat to the Chiefs in this division to get the AFC West. And then week 4 is at the Giants. That's going to be an interesting game, a game that I possibly will look to attend just because I'm so close to MetLife in Jersey. Maybe I'll go to that. If you guys are going to that game, maybe I'll pop out and introduce myself to some of you guys, man. Thunder Alley over here. We just hit 4K subs, so thank you for that. Week 5 is against the Commanders. That's going to be an interesting game. It is home. Jaden Daniels coming into our stadium, of course. I mean, this just seems like a coin flip, to be honest. I think anybody can win that game. I actually love the Chargers odds in the first 4 games. I mean, the Chiefs that's always going to be a coin flip when these two teams play. It's always down to the wire. Even you look at the last game, I mean, literally, bro, it was so close. You look at that game was, of course, in Arrowhead. And the Chargers were right there. The first game, I mean, the Chargers actually, they were tied at halftime or whatever. So Raiders, they'll win that. Broncos, they'll win that. Giants, they'll win that. Commanders and Chiefs are going to be the 2 toughest tests. And then you've got week 6 is at Miami against the Dolphins. Very difficult game just given the fact that the Dolphins are great at home, especially in warm weather. But the Chargers have got to take care of business. They've got to beat the teams they're supposed to, especially if they want to win the division, which is going to be the goal. Week 7 is going to be against the Colts. This is at home. I don't see a world where the Colts win this game. It should be pretty easy for the Chargers. And then week 8 is prime time. That's going to be Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. So a short week coming off of the Colts game. Actually, not the best situation because even though the Colts aren't that good, they do have a good run game with JT and Anthony Richardson. So bringing down those guys for a full football game, of course, of 60 minutes and then having to take on the Vikings could be kind of difficult. But they're both home games, so that's the good news. Week 9 at Tennessee against the Titans. So the Chargers do play the AFC South. Very, very interesting now that I'm looking at it for the first time. Titans stink. Should be a pretty obvious win there. Week 10 is going to be another primetime game, Sunday Night Football against the Steelers. Not sure who the quarterback's going to be for that team, but the Steelers are always tough. I think that's going to be a fun one. Week 11 is at Duval against the Jags. And then week 12 is a bye. Coming off of it, you've got the Raiders, and then you've got the Eagles. Would have loved to see the Eagles off of the bye instead of the Raiders. But still, of course, Sunday to Monday, so like a day of rest extra technically. Monday Night Football against the Eagles. So now you look at the Chargers. They got to play the Chiefs twice, the Broncos twice, the Vikings, the Commanders, the Eagles, and then they also play the Texans and the Cowboys. Tough schedule, man, but hey, you make the playoffs, you win 11 games, it's going to be a tough schedule. Week 15 is at Arrowhead. So are you kidding me? The Chargers are getting credited for a home game in week 1 despite having to travel 2,000 miles plus more. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's actually so stupid. So stupid. Like, I get expanding the game, but it just completely screws the Chargers. This is a lot of traveling, man. This is the most miles traveled in NFL history for the Chargers. And then you look at week 15, like I said, that's at Arrowhead. Week 16 is at Dallas. Not great, man. Not great. Week 17 is going to be at home against the Texans. That's to be determined. And then week 18 is at Denver. I mean, this is a tough end of the season. Week 14 through week 18, you're going up against some high-level teams. Like, I get the Cowboys aren't that great, but a healthy Dak, they're always going to be a threat. And then the Texans, AFC contender. Chiefs, AFC contender, right? Eagles, Super Bowl team last season. Broncos, playoff team, great defense. Going to be a lot of trouble for the Chargers. I think we'll take care of business. But do the Chargers win 11 games? Their over and under is 9.5. I think they'll probably end up winning 10 or 11 games. I don't know why they would go back. This team is only going to move forward with Jesse Minter and Harbaugh, of course, and just Justin Herbert. I think his best football has yet to be played, and he's going to have a lot more to work with, right? I mean, the first one being going out there and getting Omarion Hampton in the draft out of UNC. Of course, Najee Harris is brought in. And then Trey Harris, the outside receiver, a leap from Jalen Reagor, crazy. A leap from Quentin Johnston. For some reason, I just keep forgetting he's on the team. Like, he had a career for touchdowns. I just continue to just discount. I didn't even mention him when I was talking about outside receivers last video. So he's got to take that next leap. He's got to not only continue to get open, but he's got to catch the football, man. And then I'm looking at Mike Williams, more of like a go ball 50-50 type of guy. I don't think he's going to be the Mike Williams from a couple of years ago, but as long as he can just draw penalties and catch the deep ball one-on-one, I mean, he's going to be a really good addition to the team. Ladd McConkey's an absolute stud, man. Love this kid, of course, out of Georgia. Can't believe the Chargers got him to this day. I mean, he was one of my favorite prospects, and he fell all the way to the second round, and now he's one of the best slots already in the league. The offensive line's the key, though. Like, we know the defense is going to be good. We know the run game's going to be better. We know Justin Herbert's going to do his thing. I'm looking at this offensive line, and I'm saying that, hey, Zion Johnson, Andre James, and Bradley Bosman, can you guys step up and protect the quarterback? The interior wasn't great last year. Mekhi Becton, I didn't want him originally, but then I'm like, well, you look at other options in free agency, you look at the draft, it's very thin. So I think Becton is a good pickup. He had a good year last year for the Eagles. I think he's a much improved player. He might not have lived up to where he was drafted, which was the number 11th pick in the 2020 draft. Like, he hasn't lived up to that standard. But who's to say that he can't get to that player with the Chargers? And of course, you look at Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. I mean, these guys are amazing. They're incredible. They're the best 1-2 tackle punch of football. But the Chargers, like, I don't view them as a Super Bowl contender. I don't view them as like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills. I don't view them on that level. I view them as a tier below. But if they can come out in week 1 and beat the Chiefs, that's going to completely change. They just need to prove it to me, man. They need to get to the playoffs and they need to win. A lot of work to do, but it starts today, man. You don't win a Super Bowl unless it's, of course, starting in the offseason, getting the roster together and practicing and just being a good team. So but that's the thing, man. The defense is in a good spot, but the offense needs to do its thing, man. It was unacceptable against the Texans in the wild card. But hey, man, it's a new year, bro. Let's get to work, guys. Thunder Alley, I'm out. Peace.